Hey there, for the love of all that is holy, I just want to say thank you. And this transmission is also a wake up call. I want to thank you again for being here. Thank you for being in my ecosystem. And really, usually I don't let myself get distracted by all the political jargon and the online internet kind of trolls. But what's going on in the world today is important. And there's so much divisiveness. I cannot believe how radically different worlds are coexisting side by side right now. Drop some love on this thread if you know what I'm saying. Like, half the world thinks that we're in the beginning of a golden age, which is my view, and the other half thinks that we're in this dark age of I don't even know where they get their information. Like, anyhow, I agree. I could be wrong, but I choose to see things as an opportunity, and that's partly also why I'm here doing this live, because I wanted to light a fire. What I've learned over these last few years of doing coaching and working with men and transformation and pushing leaders forward and challenging and cross-checking men with the truth to get on task, to get on purpose, and to get on assignment, what I've learned is that it's easy to wake people up. It's relatively easy to wake people up, but men up specifically, but it's not easy to stay awake. And I count myself in that club too. There's a lot of information. They've never had more information at our fingertips. And we live in this age of information, but guess what? Information doesn't change people. Experience changes people. Experience and relationships. Relationships that are intentional. And what I know right now is that there's a lot of spiritual warfare happening in all of this confusion about the times. And part of my mission is to reverse engineer the systemic sedation of men. So if you've been playing small, if there are places in your game where you've not been showing up, where you've not been disciplined, where you've been fucking the dog and shitting the bed, well, that's what this message is for, because I want to challenge you to get in shape. I'm not just talking physically, but that's part of it. Fitness is a term you could apply to all of the four core kingdoms: the body, the being, the balance, and the business. And are you living on purpose with your money, with your relationship, and with your body? All of it, they all align. And you're never gonna realize your full potential in a healthy way unless you bring your fitness with you and bring your health with you. And that means showing up, making those investments, and pushing through the discipline. I let it slide a bit this week and I got away from it, but this morning I was up at 5:30 and I did some time on the bike and did some fitness and got back on the horse. So I'm here not just as a coach, but as a player coach, because I'm in the game. And when I was in jiu-jitsu with my coach, what I realized was at 47, the intention arose between him and me that I want to be my absolute best. By the time I'm 50, I want to be at the best shape of my life physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially. And here's what I know. Men who are between 40 and 60, if that's you, that is when you are at your absolute most peak value. And most men don't actually unlock and unpack their greatest contributions to the world through their calling, through their career, through whatever means, until they're like in that range, 40 to 60. But here's the thing. We live in a sedated and separated time, divide and conquer, where it's easier to just, distract and sedate. Just be distracted and be sedated rather than staying on the horse and doing the disciplined work of pushing through your barriers and obstacles and old patterns of stagnation. That's what I love about fitness, is because getting back into shape and unlocking energy from my body, getting the heart going, breaking the muscles so that they grow, fixing my posture, fixes my life. Because when I'm standing upright in my body, that's when I'm standing upright in my life. That's when my voice can make an impact and I can speak life over those that I love, speak life over the children, speak life into my relationship, and speak life into my business. And right now, there's such a hurting place between men and women. I just know because I've had a couple calls this week with some men who were thinking about getting some help, but they just couldn't pull the trigger. And we go into a deep dive and have a conversation about what they need. And it's like their balls are in their wife's purse. So don't be that guy. Don't be walking on eggshells around the people in your life. In order to be a leader, you really need to lead like a lighthouse. Jesse Elder has this great metaphor for the difference between lighthouse leadership and being a tugboat. And it's that a lighthouse saves more lives than a tugboat any day. A lighthouse saves more lives than a tugboat any day. So my challenge to you today is to look at where you're showing up like a tugboat. And by tugboat, I mean you're trying to rescue people. You're trying to save people, and you're people pleasing, and you're being a nice guy. The truth will aggravate people. But when you tell the truth, half the people will be aggravated, triggered, and the other half will be like, hey, can we get your help? We need someone who can tell the truth around here. When you tell the truth, you become the freest man in the game. You become dangerous in the best possible way. And when you're unlocking power from your body and you're speaking the truth that comes through you and being real and raw about it, that's how you lead like a lighthouse. You shine your light into the dark, and you've done enough of your own work to know your own darkness so that you can deal with being a light carrier. And a light carrier will shine that fierce love into the issues and really uphold those principles, uphold the kingdom principles that are going to create safety, that are going to free people, that are going to move people forward. I've been getting so many downloads and lessons from even just my own kids. Like this morning, my 6-year-old, he needed help making his bed. And, it's those little moments that slow you down as a parent. And that's often the purpose of children, is to help us as parents to be present and really just go, oh, right. So he just really doesn't know how to make his bed. And he needs me to slow down and smooth out the sheets with him and teach him. And his whole nervous system after that was just so much more like at ease. And then he'll come and sit on my lap. And because, they need that. At least that's part of my game, is making those deposits every day. Deposits in the kids, deposits in the wife, deposits in the bankable action that grows my business, moves it forward, and deposits in the fitness, and then deposits in prayer, and then just trusting the process. Trusting the process. That's when you know you're really alive, because you're aware that you're creating all of it. And here's the thing about the game of paying yourself every day in all those domains is you start to invest and take care of one area of your game. Maybe it's your relationship, maybe it's your business. But then, the minute you start to see some wins and you start to take care of that, you turn around and the other domains of your game have started to slip. And so this really is my invitation to you, because no matter what area you're looking at, your fitness, your money, your relationship, your parenting, or your connection with God, the common denominator is you. The common denominator is you. And there's only two choices. There's results or excuses. What'll it be? Are you going to be a tugboat rescuing people, or are you going to lead like a lighthouse? One of my favorite distinctions between boy psychology and man psychology is that boys rescue, men serve. You detect the difference there? So what I want you to do is to look at where your people pleaser might be active, where you might be still staying stuck in roles that are old versions of you, that are not your future self. The biggest game changer for me, transitioning from being a therapist to being a coach, is the future focus. Because the therapist, in its shadow expression, is hyper-focused on the problems that come from the past. Don't get me wrong, we do have to clear some of that garbage out, because some of that somatic imprinting is what's holding you back. It's giving you the feelings that distort the facts, so you can't see reality clearly and you can't move forward. But the game changer I'm talking about is having a future focus and having a clear vision of where you want to go. Without a vision, the people perish. So knowing what you want, giving yourself permission to have it, whether it's in the bedroom or the boardroom, and then just taking aligned action and doing the gritty work of figuring it out. That's the game changer. And then, you know what Carl Jung said? He said, you know, the hardest thing to do is stay with the vision. Inside of you, there's an innate image of the man that you could become, and the man who is your highest timeline expression. Nobody else has that vision but you. But let me ask you this. Who else in your world suffers if you don't man up? Who else in your world suffers if you keep making excuses and saying, not now, maybe tomorrow, or just half-assing it? If you're half-assing it, you're half-hearting it. And if you're half-hearted, you're not really in. You're not all in. If you want to make an impact, you got to get all the fuck in. All the fuck in. And that's what I want for you too. So thanks for being here. Thanks for picking up what I'm putting down. And what's the call to action here? Just that. Just take that away. You know, where are you being a people pleaser, and where are you resisting your longing to pay yourself in that discipline? And your I am, because your I am statement is going to get your house in order. Big love, big freedom. Keep hustling, brother. Bye for